Hi there! Welcome to the Musical Homestead. My name's Jenny. If this is your first time here at the Homestead, find that subscribe button, click it, and then turn on the bell so you don't miss any of our fun games and theory activities. It's theory time at the Musical Homestead. I am so excited. Today we are studying from our textbook, The Fundamentals of Piano Theory, the Preparatory level. This lesson is from our elementary theory track, which is geared towards our kindergarten through 5th graders. So if you are in 6th grade or above, why don't you, in the description below, I'm gonna link our Theory Musica Track. That's what you wanna check out. Same book, just made exclusively for you. So why don't you check that out? Today we are doing Unit 2 in our textbook. Unit 2A is gonna be on pages 6 and 7. You wanna make sure you've already done Unit 1A and Unit 1B before you start watching this video. So if you've done those two and you are kindergarten through 5th grade, we are gonna get started. I am so excited because today we're learning about the musical staff and we get to do some fun drawing of symbols, which I really get excited about. So I can't wait for you to join us. Let's get started. Today we're in Unit 2. We're on pages 6 and 7. And we're gonna talk about a staff. A staff is made up of lines and spaces. And if you notice, we have 5 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. We always start at the bottom and then we count up when we're numbering our lines and our spaces. So all of our musical staffs will have lines and spaces. 5 lines, 4 spaces. In the last unit, we learned about different kinds of notes. Now, it's very important to know where to put those notes on our staff. We have line notes and we have space notes. This is what you have to remember. A line note has your note head with a line going right through the middle of it. You want to make sure you get it as centered as possible. That note head with a line going through the middle of it. And so those are our line notes. And I have 5 line notes because I have 5 lines on a musical staff. Now for a space note, we have our note head and it should completely fill the space. You want to be careful. You don't want to draw it like this where it just gets a little bit of the line. That gets confusing. We don't want to do that. When you look at your music, you're going to see that our space notes are going to exactly fill the entire space. We don't want to have any confusion, so we want to make sure our line notes, the line goes right through the middle of the note head. Our space notes completely fill the space. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different space notes up here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 line notes. If you were here studying with me in my piano studio, I would do a fun game with you, and so we are going to do that right now. When we learn about line notes and space notes, remember I told you it's very, very important that the space note takes up the entire space and that the line note has the line going right through the center of the note. So this is a fun game that we do here that my students love. What I need you to do is get your hands up. We're going to pretend that our head is actually our note head. And we're going to get our hands like this. We're going to put them like this across the middle of our face and we're going to say line note. So this is our note head and this is our line on the staff. So here we have a line note. Can you do that? Oh, you guys look great. Then when we go like this, we have a space note. So go ahead, put one hand underneath your chin and one hand above your head, space note. Now I'm gonna say them really fast and I wanna see if you can join me. Ready? Space note, line note, space note, line note, line note, space note, space note, line note. Good job. I was trying to be a little tricky. Did I get ya? Now what I'm gonna do is I am going to do this and I want you to tell me, yell out if it's a line note or a space note. What is this? Line note. What about this? Space note. Good job. What's this? Space note. Great. What's this? Line note. Oh, you guys are so good. That's what we do in my studio. We have fun with it, so I hope you had fun with that. In Unit 1, we learned about the different parts of a note. We learned about the note head, which is the circle all filled in, and then we learned about the stem. We learned that a stem could go up and a stem could go down. But now here's our rule to know when we make it go up and when we make it go down. If you notice, I drew an arrow right here on the third line. Here is our rule. If your note head is below the third line, your stem is going to go up. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. Your note head, our big circle, if it's below the third line, so it could be on this line, this space, this line, this space, the stem is going to go up. This arrow is telling me if my note head is on this third line or above, the stem is going to go down. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 notes on the staff where the stem is going to go up. Now, we have notes underneath there, the stem will go up as well. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different notes that are the stem is going to go down. This arrow is telling us and reminding us that any time a note is below this line, the stem goes up, or if it's above, the stem goes down. This looks like what kind of letter? A D. This looks like a D, and what letter is that? A P. Good job. So we have our D and our P. We're trying to keep all of our stems within our musical staff. So if we were to make this go down, most of the stem would kind of go off the staff. So we're trying to keep it all nice and neat inside the staff. We get to draw treble clefs, and I am so excited. I have to say this is one of my favorite things to draw in music. I love how a treble clef looks. I love all the curvy lines. It is so much fun. So I'm going to teach you my way of my little secret trick of drawing treble clefs. A treble clef is a clef that is at the beginning of a line of music, a musical staff. For piano, our right hand plays in the treble clef, but sometimes the left hand can sneak in there too, either one. And they're just a lot of fun to draw. So let me show you my trick. First, what I want you to do is I want you to draw 2 X's. You're gonna draw 1 X on the second line from the bottom, and then another one on the 4th line. Now, if you notice, my 2 X's are gonna line up right on top of each other because I'm gonna draw a line through it in a minute. And you wanna make sure that they are not too big, but they're on the right lines. Okay, so now over here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw our big J. Our J has to start above the top line of the staff. So it's gonna start way up here, it's gonna come all the way down, and then it's gonna curve below the first line or the bottom line, and you're gonna fill in this little dot. It is so important that it starts above the staff, above line 5, and goes below line 1. You gotta make sure you get both of those things. You gotta extend it above and below the staff and go right through the middle of the X's. Then the next step is this little curly line. It's like this nice curve. So we're gonna start at the top, we're gonna go to the right and do a little curve, and we're gonna go all the way to the middle of this X and stop. You can see this curve is pretty skinny. It comes really close to that line that's our J. The last step is going to be starting where you left off, going to the left, doing kind of a big fat curve, and touching line 1 all the way to the bottom, and then coming back around the X, curling back up, and stopping at the second line. It's really important that you get the spacing for a treble clef correct to make it look like a treble clef. That's one reason I like to start with the X's. So you're going to start with these 2 X's on lines 2 and 4. Do your big long J, so you're starting above the top of the staff, going below the bottom, right through the middle. Then you're going to go back up to the top. You're going to go to the right and do a little curve right to the middle. And then to the left, a big curve touching the bottom, and then coming around the X. Take some time to practice this. I think I might go practice drawing some too. The more comfortable you get with it, you can stop drawing the X's, but start off with the X's so you have a good point of reference on where all your lines and curves should be. The last thing we're going to learn in our lesson today is the bass clef. A bass clef is another clef, just like the treble clef, that can be at the beginning of a staff or line of music. A bass clef is usually where the left hand's going to play for the piano, just like a treble clef is usually where the right hand's going to play, but they can switch back and forth. But we kind of think about it that way when we're piano players. It's a little bit easier to draw than a treble clef, so let me go through the steps. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw a dot, a filled in circle on the 4th line. So 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 4th line, you're going to draw a filled in circle. From there, you're going to draw a line out of that circle. It's going to curve up, touch our top line, and then come all the way down, but be careful not to touch the bottom line. So when I look at this, it kind of looks like half of a heart to me. I've also looked at it before and thought, it looks like the top part of a question mark. Whatever it looks like to you, I want you to kind of keep that in mind as you're drawing it. You want to make sure it's this nice curve. You don't want it to be too close to our filled in dot, this curve, or too far away. You have to find a happy balance. And then once you've done that, that's the hard part, because all you're going to do is draw 2 more dots on either side of this 4th line. So you can see we have 3 dots, 1, 2, 3. And these dots, you want to make sure you kind of center them in the middle of that space. So the steps again for our bass clef, we have our filled in dot on the 4th line, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to start our curved line in the middle, right from this dot. So we're starting from the dot, we're coming up, we're touching that line, we're curving around, and we're coming down, but we're not touching the bottom line. And then we're going to draw our 2 other dots on the right side of our bass clef. So now that you know how to draw a bass clef, have some fun drawing bass clefs in your textbook. Now I want to know, did you have more fun drawing a treble clef or drawing a bass clef? I have fun drawing both of them, but I tell you, treble clefs are a lot of fun to draw with all the little squiggly lines. They just look so pretty. Bass clefs are fun too. You did it, you got through it. We are done with Unit 2A. So now go back in your textbook and do those pages, and then go check out my website, themusicalhomestead.com. At the top, make sure you click on Elementary Theory Track, and we're at the preparatory level. There's some help pages that will go along with Unit 2, so you might want to check those out as well. I can't wait to see you next time. We are going to learn some more fun things, including the grand stuff. Sounded pretty grand, right? We're going to do that next time. So until I see you, have fun learning music.